How's it going, guys? Before I start this video, can I just say thanks for choosing to watch it. I mean, it's a direct response of you watching my videos that has allowed me to reach 50,000 more people than when I first started out this channel. So, depending on how long you've been subscribed, hopefully you will notice the effort I'm trying to make with the videos to make them the best that they can be. And in doing that, I cut out everything that I deemed unnecessary. But what I deemed unnecessary was the me parts, and some of you have missed that lately. So to commemorate the milestone, I knew I wanted to do a Q&A of some kind to share a bit more about who you've been watching. But Q&As are limiting, and I've always loved the idea of a draw my life on the channel. So finally having the excuse, naturally, I've bought the most expensive microphone that I can't afford. And ladies and gentlemen, the story of everything and everyone that has had to happen for you to be watching this video right now. So literally going back to when it all started, but for me, was Thursday, 24th of November 1994 at King George Hospital in Ilford, Essex. My mum wanted to call me Cody, which sounds sweet now, but they settled on Sean. S as in Samantha, Ian as in Ian, which is a curse because there's 4 different ways to spell Sean, and my one is literally the last one that gets questioned. So, my parents had me young. My mum was 19, my dad was 20. They split up when I was a couple years old, but I was too young to understand, so, you know, fortunately everyone stayed in my life, so I just ended up with a huge family. I remember moving from one house to another constantly, but the place that I remember living in first, we now refer to as the flat. For America, it was just a council apartment that I shared with my mum. And in comes Joseph Thompson, my first influence. The earliest memory I have of Joe, who I've always called Dad out of respect in case he's watching this, but for the sake of my huge family, everyone's getting their first name except Mum. She's always Mum. I was overly aggressive towards him through the ever-evolving combination of lightsabers, Godzilla hand puppets. I was quite an aggressive child, apparently. They got married when I was 4, and then 2 years later in 2000, Zach arrived. I should know because apparently I was in the delivery room at the time. I say apparently because my mind had pretty much chosen to limit that image to a single snapshot of me in a corner with a Rugrats magazine, which I always thought was a dream until they told me. But that opened up what seems to be a production line for my siblings, following with Jacob in 2004, Ethan 2006, Jamie in 2008 on my dad's side, and finally Isabella in 2013, making me one of 6. So yeah, I've pretty much grown up with a baby my entire life. Pros and cons. A combination of being an only child meant I was surrounded by adults for the first 6 years, and then not having any siblings my age contributed to why I grew up so quickly, I think. But I mean, by year 6, I knew what most of 50 Cent's lyrics meant. I remember seeing porn for the first time when a classmate brought an erotic playing card from abroad into the cloakroom, and coincidentally Stacey's mum was my favourite song at the time, because I understood every lyric. I can't complain about a single thing. I had one of the best childhoods possible. You know, I couldn't have been more loved or supported by that many people. Naturally, with split parents, you know, I meant access to a lot of games consoles every time birthday came around. And throughout school, that was what I did. So, but when I wasn't gaming, I was playing sports with anyone older than me at any opportunity that I could. I really did like the competition. Eventually, I got trials for England under 11, so that was quite cool, but failed that. School was incredible. I found I could fit in with anyone if I was just myself, you know. Like, I love sports. I played for the school's football team, basketball, rugby. Yeah, I love computers and spent most of my time actually, especially towards the later years, just in a computer room, whether I was researching something that I had found out about that week and I was interested in, or just bringing up my IT grade. You may be thinking, last time I left you in a council flat and my mum and stepdad, you know, didn't really have jobs. How could I afford this blessing of a childhood? Well, let me dabble a bit more into my biggest influence of why I'm here today, that being Joseph Thompson. Let's look at this from my perspective, right? The man came into my house one day, he made me smile, he made my mum smile, he loved my mum, that's enough, but to marry my mum, who at the time had no hint of a future, and to take in a stepson isn't something that I see most men willing to do these days, so, you know, tilts fedora. Plus they met through our church's production of Cinderella, and you can guess their roles. Ugh. He had just finished his master's degree in toxicology too, and took a promising job in Bristol, and that was what moved us here. He started at the bottom of the corporate ladder for Imperial Tobacco, and fast forward 16 years later, he's now pretty much director status, while simultaneously creating and providing for his family so that we could have had all the experiences that we've had, going abroad, going to America, going to Egypt, and it is all tributed to this man's hard work that obviously one day I really want to repay. That's my biggest inspiration for why this channel has come about. It is my stepdad. It is Joseph Thompson of Sean Thompson TV. Gross Core, What's Up with RS, Chris Archie, they inspired me to actually create a YouTube channel just because I was already on there so much, and to an attempt to become part of the community. That failed, but it achieved its purpose of finding like-minded people to interact with. You know, I made quite a few friends on that game. By this point, gaming had become my life, to the point where one night he confiscated my internet dongle, which ensued a tussle, of which I was put on my ass, but that's not the point. We're missing the point here. Gaming was warping what was important to me. So I quit. The same day I happened to stumble across a Ziz video, and I decided to start bodybuilding. I was already into sports, but combining, again, my interest in computers and the YouTube community and the channel, I decided to make a channel out of it and document the journey to inspire as many people as I could, if any. I caught my break though. The channel did take off, and now I've left university to chase the dream and make the most of the chance that I've been blessed with. I basically, without being too cheesy, I live to aspire to inspire. I want to make a difference in people's lives, for them to create the life that they imagine, just like I'm doing for me, and just like my inspirations have done. I wanted it to be my life. And thanks for people to Christian Guzman and Mark Fit for pioneering that dream and proving that you could make a living out of doing that. And now people like Casey Neistat, Fun for Louis, Ben Brown, Russell Brand, you know, all these influences that are adding to my direction, I feel, as far as developing my content, developing my brain. So yeah, and kind of the way I've grown up on YouTube. So it's quite cool to share that. And most of you like me right now are asking, where do I go from here? Consistent diet and training. You know, get my training in check, get my diet in check, and open doors for competing, because I think if I'm going to go in this industry, like I said, my stepdad, the work ethic, I want to represent that. That's what's gotten me here, and I want that to show. To produce the channel standard of content consistently, that is a goal. Sorry for the delay. Build bridges and save up for my own studio. That is the dream. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm setting up my own studio, my own space where I could install a gym, my home gym to start off with, you know, an editing room, maybe some room for storage, and then just continue to reinvest and expand through the channel. Thanks for pressing start. And that's how you watch this video.